Gratitudes is a experimental sound art collage, collaged with live performance, using some bits and pieces that I composed, and then also some improvisational elements on my electric guitar and on my bass. As far as my background in music goes, I'm formally trained as like a jazz bassist, but I work in the city primarily as a kind of a gun for hire, so a sessional player. But I also do compositional contracts here and there, and I also arrange music as well. With this particular piece, it's very ambient, experimental, and it kind of, I would say it's a bit genreless. The piece itself is an exploration of the phenomena of near-death experience, which is this like really interesting thing that people have reportedly experienced across cultural lines, age, religious belief, and secular belief, and it's this really funny thing where people they'll die, clinically be dead, in that their heart will stop, their breathing will stop, their brain is starting to shut down, and they report these experiences after they've been resuscitated. The experiences include this kind of feeling of peace, a out-of-body experience where they see themselves from above, and sort of like tunnel vision blast into this dark space where there's like a light in the distance. And as they approach the light, they go through a life flashback of sorts. And the interesting thing is a number of people have reported that in this like flashback moment, they experience everything that they've ever experienced, but from the perspective of the people that they were interacting with. And then afterwards, there's the option of going towards the light or not. And because they're resuscitated and they're telling us these stories, like obviously they didn't die. So this is kind of the music is, in a sense, tracing the journey leading right up to the precipice of crossing over. What I find fascinating about this is that it has given some folks some idea of the immortality of the soul. At the same time, it could just be like the way our brain functions when it's shorting out, and that's also kind of a beautiful thing because it's always been a very positive experience for these people, which is why I titled it Gratitudes, because it's something I think to look forward to. the piece was kind of inspired by, I guess, the untimely passing of my friend Kitty Gozen. I was on tour just before I had agreed to do this show. The second day on tour, I found out that she had passed, and it was kind of random. We don't really know why she passed away, and she was a really prolific artist, worked in film and set design. So I kind of sat with that while I was on tour for a month, and then I came back and reviewed a bunch of research that I had done while I was in university. I took these classes on death, dying, and aspects of concepts of future life. And I was taking these classes because I worked as a musician in residence for a organization called Artists in Healthcare Manitoba. I still do that now. So they place artists in the healthcare setting. And at that time, I was in my early 20s and working in a hospice, working palliative care, working cancer care, and encountering people that are right near, they're in the twilight of their life. So I thought it would be good to learn a bit more, and then I came across these studies, and that was the first thing that came to my mind as I was kind of processing my grief. So when I got home, I dug up all the old journals and I did some extra research on top of that, and then I started writing.